special. First, it was commentators last night.
Happy New Year, Wrestling Universe. And what a way to kick off 2026? Because on January 6th, the WWE just delivered the most unhinged, brutal, and absolutely insane moment of the decade so far. You think you've seen chaos? You think you understand what true violence looks like in that squared circle? You have seen nothing. Because Roman Reigns didn't just return to WWE, he came back like a man possessed. Like a tribal chief who's been stripped of everything, humiliated, broken down, and left for dead by the very machine he once dominated. And when a man like Roman Reigns has nothing left to lose, when the head of the table has been knocked off his throne and left to rot in the shadows, that's when he becomes most dangerous. January 6th, 2026. SmackDown. The world was not ready for what was about to unfold. The WWE Universe thought they were getting just another episode of Blue Brand action. Maybe some promos. Maybe a decent match or two. But what they got instead was an explosion of pure, unadulterated rage that will echo through wrestling history for years to come. Picture this: Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate, standing in the middle of the ring like the unstoppable force of nature he's always been. The crowd is electric, chanting his name, because love him or hate him, when Brock Lesnar is on your screen, you cannot look away. He's cut a promo, he's issued a challenge, he's reminded everyone why he's the most legitimate ass-kicker in WWE history. The lights are bright. The pyro has settled. Paul Heyman is standing ringside with that smug, knowing smile plastered across his face. Everything seems normal. And then, the lights go out. Not a flicker. Not a technical glitch. A complete blackout. The crowd erupts into confusion. Phones light up the arena like stars in a midnight sky. And you can feel it, that electricity, that anticipation, that primal understanding that something massive is about to go down. When those lights come back on, Happy New Year, Wrestling Universe. And what a way to kick off 2026? Because on January 6th, the WWE just delivered the most unhinged, brutal, and absolutely insane moment of the decade so far. You think you've seen chaos? You think you understand what true violence looks like in that squared circle? You have seen nothing. Because Roman Reigns didn't just return to WWE, he came back like a man possessed. Like a tribal chief who's been stripped of everything, humiliated, broken down, and left for dead by the very machine he once dominated. And when a man like Roman Reigns has nothing left to lose, when the head of the table has been knocked off his throne and left to rot in the shadows, that's when he becomes most dangerous. January 6th, 2026. SmackDown. The world was not ready for what was about to unfold. The WWE Universe thought they were getting just another episode of Blue Brand action. Maybe some promos. Maybe a decent match or two. But what they got instead was an explosion of pure, unadulterated rage that will echo through wrestling history for years to come. Picture this: Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate, standing in the middle of the ring like the unstoppable force of nature he's always been. The crowd is electric, chanting his name, because love him or hate him, when Brock Lesnar is on your screen, you cannot look away. He's cut a promo, he's issued a challenge, he's reminded everyone why he's the most legitimate ass-kicker in WWE history. The lights are bright. The pyro has settled. Paul Heyman is standing ringside with that smug, knowing smile plastered across his face. Everything seems normal. And then, the lights go out. Not a flicker. Not a technical glitch. A complete blackout. The crowd erupts into confusion. Phones light up the arena like stars in a midnight sky. And you can feel it, that electricity, that anticipation, that primal understanding that something massive is about to go down. When those lights come back on. Because when Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar lock horns, the only thing that matters is who walks out standing and who gets carried out on a stretcher. But here's where it gets truly insane. Just when you think the chaos has reached its peak, just when you think there's no way this could escalate any further, the Bloodline arrives. Not the new Bloodline. Not Solo Sikoa's version of the family that betrayed Roman and cast him out like yesterday's trash. The real Bloodline. The OG. The ones who built this empire from the ground up. And leading the charge? Jacob Fatu. The Samoan werewolf himself, back from injury, back from exile, and looking like he's ready to devour anyone who stands in the way of the tribal chief's revenge. The crowd explodes. Because Jacob Fatu isn't just another member of the Bloodline, he's a wrecking ball wrapped in Samoan rage. He's the enforcer. The destroyer. The one you send when you need someone eliminated. Fatu hits the ring like a missile, and suddenly, Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate, is surrounded. Roman on one side. Jacob Fatu on the other. And the look on Brock's face? That's not confidence anymore. That's a man who realizes he's walked into a trap. Second question for you, to be honest, does Brock Lesnar stand a chance against both Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu at the same time? Comment below. What happens next is nothing short of carnage. Roman and Fatu aren't just attacking Brock, they're dismantling him. Every punch is thrown with malice. Every slam is executed with precision. This isn't chaos for chaos's sake. This is a calculated assault designed to send a message to everyone watching. The tribal chief is back. And anyone who stood against him, anyone who doubted him, anyone who thought they could take his place. Your time is up. Superman punch from Roman sends Brock staggering. A devastating Samoan drop from Fatu plants him into the mat. And just when you think Brock might fight his way out, because he's Brock Lesnar and that's what he does, Roman hits him with a spear so vicious, so brutal, that the entire arena gasps. Brock is down. The beast has been slain. But Roman isn't done. Oh no. Because this isn't about winning a fight. This is about making a statement. Roman stands over Brock's fallen body, breathing heavy, sweat and intensity pouring off him, and he raises his finger in the air, that iconic ONER gesture that has become synonymous with dominance, with power, with legacy. The crowd is torn. Half of them are chanting Roman. Roman. The other half are in stunned silence, processing what they just witnessed. Let me take you back for a second. Because to truly understand why this moment is so significant, you have to understand the history between these three men. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar have been at war for years. From WrestleMania 31, where Seth Rollins cashed in and stole both their dreams, to WrestleMania 34, where Roman finally conquered the Beast in the main event, to SummerSlam 2018, where Brock destroyed Roman in the most one-sided beating we'd ever seen. Their rivalry is legendary. It's defined eras. It's main-evented the biggest shows in WWE history. But it's also been Roman's white whale. The one opponent he could never fully put away. The one man who, no matter how many times Roman won, always seemed to have Brock's number when it really mattered. And then there's Jacob Fatu, the newest member of the Bloodline's legacy, brought in to add muscle, to add fear, to add that unpredictable element that makes the Bloodline truly unstoppable. But Fatu's return wasn't just about power. It was about loyalty. Because when Solo Sikoa turned on Roman, when the new Bloodline cast him aside and tried to erase his legacy, there were questions about who would stand with the tribal chief when he eventually returned. Jacob Fatu just answered that question loud and clear. Third question, do you think Solo Sikoa and the new Bloodline are shaking in their boots right now? Let me know. Now, let's talk about what this means for the Royal Rumble and beyond. Because the timing of this attack, the brutality of it, the statement it makes, this isn't random. This is strategy. The Royal Rumble is just weeks away. 30 superstars are going to step into that ring with dreams of main-eventing WrestleMania. 30 superstars are going to fight, claw, and scratch for a chance at immortality. But after what we witnessed on January 6th, there's only one story that matters. Roman Reigns is back. And he's coming for everything. The Universal Championship? The Undisputed Championship? WrestleMania main event? Roman wants it all back. Because that's what tribal chiefs do. They don't accept defeat. They don't fade into obscurity. They reclaim what's theirs with force and fury. And with Jacob Fatu by his side? With the real Bloodline backing him up? There might not be anyone who can stop him. But here's the twist that makes this even more intriguing. Brock Lesnar isn't the type to take this lying down. The beast has been humiliated, beaten down, left lying in the center of the ring like prey. And if there's one thing we know about Brock Lesnar, it's that he always gets his revenge. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. We're looking at a war that's about to escalate to levels we've never seen before. Roman versus Brock. Bloodline versus Beast. Legacy versus Dominance. And everyone else in WWE? They're just collateral damage waiting to happen. Let's also address the elephant in the room, Paul Heyman. The special counsel. The wise man. The advocate for both Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at different points in history. Where does Paul Heyman stand in all of this? Because during this entire assault, Heyman was ringside. And his reaction? It was complicated. You could see it on his face, the conflict, the calculation, the realization that the two clients he's represented, the two monsters he's helped create, are now on a collision course that could destroy them both. Does Heyman side with Roman, the man he helped build into the most dominant champion in modern WWE history? Or does he stick with Brock, the beast who's been his meal ticket for decades? Fourth question, whose side is Paul Heyman really on? Team Roman or Team Brock? Comment your prediction. This is Game of Thrones level drama, people. Alliances are shifting. Loyalties are being tested. And in the middle of it all stands the throne of WWE, waiting for whoever is ruthless enough to claim it. But wait, there's another layer to this story that makes it even more explosive. Solo Sikoa. The new tribal chief. The man who betrayed Roman, who kicked him out of his own family, who tried to rebuild the bloodline in his image. Solo's been running roughshod over SmackDown for months now, claiming he's the real leader, the real head of the table. He's had his own crew, his own agenda, and his own vision for what the bloodline should be. But now Roman's back. And he's brought Jacob Fatu with him. Do you understand what that means? This isn't just Roman versus Brock anymore. This is Bloodline versus Bloodline. Family versus family. Legacy versus usurper. Solo thought he was safe. He thought he'd escaped Roman's shadow, that he'd carved out his OWN path to greatness. But the shadow of the tribal chief is long. And it's coming for Solo with the fury of 1,000 storms. The question isn't if Roman and Solo are going to collide. The question is when. And how much destruction will be left in the wake of that collision? Because when family turns on family, when blood spills blood, there are no rules. There's no mercy. There's only survival. And let's not forget the implications for WrestleMania. WrestleMania 42 is on the horizon. The biggest show of the year. You could see it on his face, the conflict, the calculation, the realization that the two clients he's represented, the two monsters he's helped create, are now on a collision course that could destroy them both. Does Heyman side with Roman, the man he helped build into the most dominant champion in modern WWE history? Or does he stick with Brock, the beast who's been his meal ticket for decades? Fourth question, whose side is Paul Heyman really on? Team Roman or Team Brock? Comment your prediction. This is Game of Thrones level drama, people. Alliances are shifting. Loyalties are being tested. And in the middle of it all stands the throne of WWE, waiting for whoever is ruthless enough to claim it. But wait, there's another layer to this story that makes it even more explosive. Solo Sikoa. The new tribal chief. The man who betrayed Roman, who kicked him out of his own family, who tried to rebuild the bloodline in his image. Solo's been running roughshod over SmackDown for months now, claiming he's the real leader, the real head of the table. He's had his own crew, his own agenda, and his own vision for what the Bloodline should be. But now Roman's back. And he's brought Jacob Fatu with him. Do you understand what that means? This isn't just Roman versus Brock anymore. This is Bloodline versus Bloodline. Family versus family. Legacy versus usurper. Solo thought he was safe. He thought he'd escaped Roman's shadow, that he'd carved out his OWN path to greatness. But the shadow of the tribal chief is long. And it's coming for Solo with the fury of 1,000 storms. The question isn't if Roman and Solo are going to collide. The question is when. And how much destruction will be left in the wake of that collision. Because when family turns on family, when blood spills blood, there are no rules. There's no mercy. There's only survival. And let's not forget the implications for WrestleMania. WrestleMania 42 is on the horizon. The biggest show of the year. The grandest stage of them all. After what we witnessed on January 6th, the main event has practically written itself. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. 1. More time. But this time? This time it's personal. This time there's no championship on the line, just pride. Just revenge. Just two warriors settling a score that's been building for over a decade. And with Jacob Fatu in Roman's corner and Paul Heyman's loyalty hanging in the balance, this match could be the most unpredictable, most violent, most emotional main event in WrestleMania history. Final question for you: if Roman versus Brock happens at WrestleMania 42, who walks out victorious? Drop your pick below. Let me paint you a picture of what WWE just unleashed. A tribal chief who was betrayed by his own family, left for dead, stripped of his throne, and forced to watch as others tried to claim what was rightfully his. A beast who's dominated WWE for 2 decades, who's conquered every challenger, who's never been truly humbled. A Samoan werewolf who's hungry for destruction and loyal to the man who gave him purpose. And a collision course that's going to tear through the WWE like a hurricane. January 6th, 2026 wasn't just a return. It wasn't just an attack. It was a declaration of war. Roman Reigns didn't come back to ask for his spot back. He came back to take it. By force. By violence. By reminding everyone why he held that championship for 1,316 days. The Bloodline isn't just back, they're reborn. Stronger. Angrier. More dangerous than ever before. And Brock Lesnar? The beast has been wounded. And wounded animals are the most deadly. The Royal Rumble is coming. WrestleMania is coming. And the collision between these titans is inevitable. The WWE Universe is about to witness something legendary. Something that will be talked about for generations. Because when Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, and Brock Lesnar are all in the same arena, in the same fight, with the same goal, there are no survivors. Only legends. This is the beginning of something epic. This is the spark that's going to ignite the most explosive storyline of 2026. And if you're not watching, if you're not paying attention, if you're not following every single move, every single attack, every single twist in this saga, you're going to miss the most insane ride in wrestling history. Roman Reigns has returned. The tribal chief is back. The bloodline has been restored. And Brock Lesnar just became the first casualty in a war that's going to reshape the entire WWE landscape. The throne is being fought over. The crown is being contested. And only the strongest will survive. So buckle up, Wrestling Juice Insiders. Because 2026 just became the year where legends are made and empires are destroyed. This is just the beginning. And trust me when I say this, you have no idea how crazy this is about to get. This is Wrestling Juice Insider, and you just witnessed history.